What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Master Duel Scareclaw deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because we finally got Scareclaw in Master Duel and this deck is absolutely crazy. It's super fun to be able to summon out our insanely powerful boss monster, Scareclaw Tryhard, and it's really easy to be able to put on the field. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name, description, every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month or a Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Scareclaw Rykart. This card is an awesome 3-of in the deck that all of your Scareclaw monsters share a common effect. That you can special summon this card from your hand to your main monster zone adjacent to another Scareclaw monster that you control or in its column, and you can only special summon each Scareclaw monster by their own effect once per turn. Now this card's unique effect is if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Scareclaw spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then if you have 3 or more defense position monsters are on the field, then you can draw a card, and you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. That is absolutely insane that this card potentially turns into a +2 and is just a really good extender for the deck. I then played 3 copies of Scareclaw Acro. Scareclaw Acro is a really good 3-of in the deck that has a really awesome unique effect that if this card is on your side of the field, your Scareclaw monster in the extra monster zone gains 300 attack points for each defense position monster that you control, making your copy of Scareclaw Tryhard get absolutely massive. We then played 3 copies of Scareclaw Balloon. Balloon is a really good 3-of as well because it has the ability that it makes the monster that's in your extra monster zone that's a Scareclaw monster do piercing damage, which is really good just to help you go in for game. We then played 3 copies of Scareclaw Astra. Astra is a really good 3-of in the deck as well because Astra has the ability the monster, your Scareclaw monster in the extra monster zone can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of defense position monster Scareclaw monsters that you control with different names, which is up to 4, which is absolutely crazy that your monster is going to be gaining 300 attack points for every monster that you control in defense position. It does piercing damage, and it can attack a number of times, at least up to 3 times usually, sometimes 4 times. That is absolutely crazy. We then play a single copy of Visa Starfrost. Visa Starfrost is a really good 1-of in the deck because it has the ability, if this card is in your hand, then you can target one monster that you control with a different type and attribute than this card and destroy that monster. And if you do, special summon this card. And you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, and then you can make this card gain attack equal to half the original attack or defense of that monster, whichever is higher, and it's your choice. But the main effect of this card is that it's a tuner monster, so it can help us step into copies of Baron de Fleur with our copy of Rykart, or with any of our copies of our lower level Scareclaw monsters that are level 3, we can actually step into the virtual world QB, which is really cool. So then, for the hand traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Max C. Max C is just absolutely insane in Master Duel, being able to let us draw a card every time our opponent special summons a monster, which is just really, really good. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is absolutely insane, basically stopping your opponent from touching the deck. This card is one of the best hand traps ever printed. We then play 2 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is a really good 2-of in the deck just to stop an opponent's monster effect, so it's a definite 2-of in this build. I then play 2 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru is just really, really good if your opponent's playing a deck that's special summoning a lot to be able to basically break their board. We then play a single copy of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is a really good 1-of in the deck to be able to pop an opponent's card. I definitely like to play the single copy of Ghost Ogre, especially since we play a single copy of Crossout Designator in this particular build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Terraforming because we have an amazing field spell in the Scareclaw archetype. We play a single copy of Rhoda because we can search out our copy of Rykart with this card, so it's a definite one-of in this build. I'm playing a single copy of Scareclaw Straddle. This card is just a really good one-of in the deck. It has the ability you can activate one of the following effects: either target a Scareclaw monster or a Vista Starfrost in your monster zone and a face-up monster that your opponent controls, and your monster gains attack and defense equal to your opponent's monster's attack or defense, whichever is higher. Or you can activate the ability that when a card or effect is activated that targets a Scareclaw monster or a Vista Starfrost that you control, negate that effect, which is an awesome effect for this card to have. I then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is at 1 in Master Duel, so we're just playing a single copy of this card, especially with the amount of hand traps that we're playing in this build. I'm then playing 2 copies of Call by the Grave just to make sure that we're not going to get hand trapped while we're playing this deck. I then play 3 copies of Scareclaw Arrival. Scareclaw Arrival is a really awesome 3 in the deck that's basically a Monster Reborn. Lets you target a Scareclaw monster or a Vista Starfrost in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. And if a Scareclaw Link monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you manage this card from your graveyard instead, giving you a little bit of protection, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Primitive Planet. Primitive Planet is the field spell for the deck and also the Searcher, with the ability that when this card is activated, you can add a Scareclaw monster or a Vista Starfrost from your deck to your hand. And monsters that your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each defense position monster on the field. And if 3 or more defense position monsters are on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. And you can only use the effects of this card once per turn, and you can only activate one of this card per turn. That is a really insane effect that you can get a pop and a search off this card, and it drops your opponent's monster's attack points and defense points down, making it easier to OTK with Tryhard. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Scareclaw Splash. Splash is a really good one in the deck, but you only need a single copy of this card. It's a really fantastic card, but I feel like 1 is totally fine in this build. I'm then playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is a really good 3 in the deck, just to be able to stop your opponent's monster effects and potentially lock down columns if you set this card on the field and then activate it by locking down spells and traps, which is really good. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Scareclaw Tryhard. This card is our main boss monster that we're trying to put on the field as quickly as possible. And this card is absolutely crazy. It just takes 3 effect monsters to make this card, and it must be link summoned, and all face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position. And it's unaffected by the activated effects of defense position monsters, and once per turn, if this card in the extra monster zone, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you can target a level 3 Scareclaw monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And if you do, you get to add a Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Scareclaw monsters, but that's totally fine because you're basically going to get a double buff for this card, which is really cool. I absolutely love this card as a boss monster, and it's absolutely crazy that this card is finally in Master Duel. I'm then playing 3 copies of Scareclaw Lightheart. Lightheart is a great 3 on the deck that actually searches the field spell. It just takes any Scareclaw monster or Vista Starfrost to be able to make this card, and has the ability that for this card's link summon, you can use 1 monster in your main monster zone as a material, and it also has the ability that if this card is link summoned in the extra monster zone, then you can add a Primitive Planet from your deck to your hand. And if you control Vista Starfrost, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, which is a great effect. Which is, this card is just a definite 3 of because it searches the copy of our field spell. I then play a single copy of Underworld Goddess just in case we need to break the opponent's board. This card is a definite 1 of in the deck. I then play a single copy of Access Code Talker. This card is just really good as a 1 of to be able to summon to your side of the field. It's a 5,300 attack point monster and being able to pop multiple cards on the field. 1 copy of Celine because it helps us step into the copy of Access Code Talker, and we do play spellcasters in the deck with the copies of Effect Veiler. I then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff. one copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, one copy of the Dark Charmer, because we do play a bunch of darks in this deck, so this card is a definite one of. One copy of IP Masquerade, because we can make this card, and then make a copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn, which is really good. A single copy of the Virtual World QB. This card is fantastic in the deck, and super easy to make, with a copy of Vista Starfrost, plus any level 3 Scareclaw monster, and it also has a really insane effect that any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead. And then finally, a single copy of Baron de Fleur, because it's really easy to make this card with Rykart and a copy of your Vista Starfrost to put this card on the field as a walking negate. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is absolutely insane in Master Duel. I love playing with Scareclaw. It's a really, really fun deck, and just a really awesome boss monster with Triheart, being able to summon it directly to your side of the field, and just basically being a Link monster version of Baguska that gets absolutely massive. So anyways, guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.